The podcast in front of you rattles unsettlingly. Something skitters inside. The label shifts into view. Warning: adult content.
PseudoPod, episode 896 for December 8th, 2023. Douen by Susan Palumbo. Narrated by Mercedes Modeste. Hosted by Amanda Weiss. Audio by Chelsea Davis. Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of PseudoPod. My name is Amanda Weiss, and I am Associate Professor of Japanese at Georgia Tech and editor of Hive Mind magazine. I'm also very happy to be your host this week. Our story is Douen by Susan Palumbo. This story was originally published in The Dark magazine and reprinted in the 2023 collection Skin Thief. Susan Palumbo is a Trinidadian-Canadian speculative fiction writer and editor. Her short fiction has been nominated for the Nebula, Aurora, and World Fantasy Awards. She also co-founded the Ignite Awards with L.D. Lewis and edited the Strange Horizons Caribbean issue with Marika Bailey. Her dark fantasy horror collection, Skin Thief Stories, was published by Neon Hemlock in 2023. Her novella Countess will be published by ECW Press in 2024. Her work has been featured in The Dark magazine, Lightspeed, Nightmare, and PseudoPod. When she isn't writing, she can be found listening to New Wave, sketching, or wandering in her local misty forest. Find her on Instagram at Gothic Syntax and on her website at susanpalumbo.wordpress.com. She is officially represented by Michael Curry of the Donald Mass Literary Agency. Mercedes Modeste is not the well-known Benz, however, she is driven by creativity. This young woman from the beautiful Caribbean is a finance student by day, storyteller and poet by night. She adores art, dance, music, volunteering, and baking. With the belief that any art form is the best medicine, she enjoys utilizing her talents to inspire and share with others. And now we have a story for you, and we promise you, it's true.
Douen by Susan Palumbo. Narrated by Mercedes Modeste. I see Mama in the cemetery when they put the white casket in the ground. She was crying so hard. She was shaking like when Grandma died, and Tanti, Mama's aunt, had to hug Mama up tight to keep Mama from falling down. At Grandma's funeral, Tanti said, "Tudu Shalini, you have to hold up yourself. You have your daughter Samantha to bring up. You must be strong for she." Mama wiped she own tears and stopped crying then. But she smile was spoiled. I tried to come first in school and eat all the rice and provision I hate when she cooked them for dinner. But Mama said she heart was broken. For true, she eyes didn't shine full happy like they did before. This time in the cemetery, Tanti didn't say anything because even she was bawling like a cow with everybody else. Mama was the loudest. Her voice was like a cutlass chopping straight through the noise. Daddy stand up stiff next to she and was silent like a stone. I know why nobody tell Mama to hold up herself this time. It was because it was me, dead in the casket, in the bottom of the hole. It was my funeral, except I wasn't in the box. I was standing behind one of the concrete headstones, watching Mama and all my aunties and uncles bawl. I cried too, because I didn't remember how I get there and I didn't want to be dead. I remember I was playing in the yard. I ran to get my ball, and then bam, something hit me. Pain so sharp in my chest, like a knife when I breathed in. Mama was screaming, but her voice didn't get farther and farther away. "Come back, Mama," I thought. "Where you going?" Then everything going black, and I wake up in this dead people place by the sea. No more pain, no screaming. I put my hand on my chest to check what happened. I wasn't wearing the pink frill dress Daddy bought me for my 7th birthday. I was naked from my belly up, wearing a long grass skirt and a hat shaped like a cone. I tried to pull the hat off, but it was stuck to my head. My whole body was wrong. From my ankles, my feet was twisted with my toes pointing behind me. I sat on the grass and tried to turn my right foot around to face the correct way, but it wouldn't go straight. When I walk around the gravestones, my heels went in front of me, but my feet looked backwards. Douen, Tanti and my cousins, Shivani and David and them used to say, dead children's spirits, Douens have backwards foot. When I asked Mama if what they did tell me was true, she said, I can't tell you that, child. I wanted to show Mama my feet when I see she in front of my grave and tell she Douens was real and I was frightened. But no one could see me, and it had too many people around Mama saying she was going to be alright. Everything happened for a reason. Am I alright? I asked. My voice came out as a whistle and I couldn't stretch my mouth open. My backwards feet pull and I run to Daddy's car in the parking lot and watch my face in the tinted window. A sharp pain hit my chest again, because when I look at my face, my mouth was a tiny hole the size of a black tamarind seed, and I had no nose, no eyes. My face was smooth like a mango skin. How could I see with no eyes? I had a jumpy face. I screamed, but it come out as an angry whistle on the wind. Sorry, Sam. It was an accident, Uncle Ram was saying by my grave. He choked up crying and going back to sit in the van alone after. Everybody else was watching the ground. Nobody spoke for a long time. And then Daddy hold Mama by she shoulders, turned she around and walked she to the car. I didn't know if I could follow them. They didn't call me to come. They didn't even look back for me standing in the cemetery beside the hole. I was frozen where I was while I watched every car and van drive away. Then it was quiet, except for the sound of the shush of the waves from the sea nearby. I liked when we whole family used to go to the beach. We used to play cricket and eat hot fried rice. Now the sound of the sea filled up my ears and head like it was inside of my skull. I didn't dare go near it. I didn't trust my backwards feet not to run on their own. What if they walked me into the ocean and kept walking until I was covered? Later, two men drive up in a noisy backhoe, so loud it drowned out the ocean inside my head. They start to fill up the hole I was supposed to be in with my casket. All that dirt would have been dumped on me. I would have never climbed out of that. They was almost finished cleaning up the hole, but I didn't want them to leave. So when they turn off the backhoe engine and get two shovels to smooth over the dirt on my grave, I went and stand behind the man who looked younger and didn't have a beard. Excuse me, mister, I whistled. He shake up at my voice like a cold breeze touchy. Hey boy, he crossed himself and said to the next man, let we hurry up and done here. I don't like to stay by child grave. What do you think? She go come and hunt you? The older man laughed. You think I joking? The young man sucked his teeth. You go see. Okay, I want to done too, the older man said. He went back in the backhoe with his shovel and turned on the engine. Rest, child, the young man whispered to my grave with his eyes closed. Then he went in the machine next to the old man, and they drive away like Mama and Daddy. I sat back on my grave and cried. I cried so loud the whole cemetery filled up with a ringing whistle. People who was visiting other graves covered their ears and run back to their cars. I was sure Mama would hear me back home in the house, and she would come and get me and hug me up and give me sweet and sour prunes like she did when she used to collect me from school. Mama never ever used to let me cry. She didn't come back. Then it started to get dark. I watched the sea swallow up the sun, the air change. It touched my skin like a bunch of cold hands and fingers all over my chest. I wanted my white and pink bed and a cup of milk. I wanted to be inside. If Douen was real, then the suguya and loup-garous and zombies that come out at night to bite you and take your soul was true too. I didn't want to meet that kind of zombie. I stay awake and watch to make sure none of them come for me. In the middle of the night, a lady drive up to the cemetery. She had long straight hair and was wearing a black dress that reached her foot and a black veil that covered her face. Tanti did explain after Grandma's funeral that if you go to the cemetery at night, you must walk through the front door of your own house backwards. When you go back home, or the ghosts and them go follow you inside. This lady didn't look like she was scared of ghosts at night following she inside she house. When I get closer, she smelled like the sandalwood incense Grandma used to light when she say she prays. I creep up quiet beside the lady. I go kill them for let you dead, she whisper. I did tell them, doctor. I did tell them you wasn't well, and they insist I was crazy. I was what they say, overprotective. The lady's voice would shake like Mama's at my funeral, but softer, like the sound of slippers on the wood floor. But I know someone give you bad eye, then curse you. That's why I get sick. The lady wiped her face. Come back and see my Alyssa, she say. She take out a bottle of liquid and pour it on the grave. Don't be sad, Auntie, I whistle softly. She turned her head slowly and stared at me in the dark. You're not Alyssa? You could hear me? I jumped back. Yes, Douen, I could hear you. What is your name? Samantha. She nodded. You see my daughter, Alyssa, around here? She was 4. Smaller than you. So little she was. No, Auntie. I get here today, and nobody else here like me. The lady's shoulders drop. Do you miss your mama? She was looking at me, but her voice changed like she was talking to her baby. Yes, I do. I want to go home. But my mama can't see me like you. She rubbed her arms and shivered like the man in the backhoe earlier that day. Where family living? You know the address? I go drop you by the yard, so you wouldn't be lonely. I think for a minute. I go get to see Mama and nod my head. Okay, let we go. She touched her daughter's gravestone. Mommy love you plenty, Alyssa. The lady let me sit up in the car next to she while she drive. I guess she my address. She said it wasn't too far drive from where she live. We didn't talk much, but I could see tears wetting up she face. She car was full with little colorful crosses and charms on the dash and hanging from the mirror. I tried to behave and be quiet, like I used to do for Mama, but I had so many questions. How come you could see and hear me and no one else can, Auntie? When you is a child, you can see everything, she said. And when people get big, some of them still see spirits and energy, but others lose that forever. I didn't ask you anything else after that because she face get hard like she was finished talking. When she turned the car into the trace where my house was, she stopped and turned off the headlights. You could walk the rest of the way. I don't want to drive up in the people's yard and wake them. Yes, Auntie, I can walk. Thank you. Good luck, little Douen. Sorry you never get a chance to live and grow up and experience life. I didn't know what to say, so I tell she thank you. Again, and watch she turn the car around and drive away. Then, my backwards feet point me towards the house. Just down the hill and around the turn, and I will reach home. When I reached the yard of we big old house on poles, Lenny, my dog, started back hard at me. He rushed up like he was going to bite me. Lenny, Doodoo is me, Samantha, puppy. I whistle and pat him on the head. Mama never let Lenny in the house, but everybody knew he was my best friend, next to my cousin Giovanni. He calmed down when he heard my voice and licked my face. I laugh because it tickled the same as before I died. All the lights in the house was off, except for the one in Mama and Daddy's bedroom. I tried to climb up the concrete steps in the gallery, but a force stopped me and I bounced back on the ground and fall on the backside like when I get hit before I died. I tried but the back step and I capsized again. I couldn't even stay under the house in the hammock Daddy hung up for me. They must be went inside the house backwards to keep me out. I see. I sit under we plum tree in the yard, scared that a zombie would come out of the cocoa bushes behind me. I cry that Mama didn't want me in the house like the dog. But Lenny come and cuddle up next to me and I get nice and warm. I closed my eyes and went to sleep. The next morning, Tanti come to the house early with Uncle Ram and Shivani. Shivani wasn't at my funeral. Today, she had on a new blue dress and she bring a doll with she. Tanti say Shivani was the cutest right in front of me one time. Mama tell me later she thought I was the cutest. I still like Shivani, even though Tanti thought she was prettier than me. I wanted to wear a fancy blue dress too, and not this scratchy hat and grass skirt. Shivani, I called. She had moved like she hear me, but she didn't turn around. She followed Uncle Ram in the house. People kept passing by the whole day. All with family and cousins carrying containers of food and then leaving with nothing. Twice I hear Mama bawling from where I was under the plum tree. It hooked into me and pulled me towards the house, but every time I put my foot on the step, I bounce back. That's when I see the dent on Uncle Ram's blue van and remember how I died. I ran into the yard to get my ball after Shivani threw it there. I didn't even see the blue van. Mama told me not to run in the yard like that. It was my fault I died. I went back to my plum tree and sat in the shade and cried quiet so I didn't scare anybody. Daddy and Mama didn't come out the house that day. I wait and wait. Lenny sit with me the whole time and only went by the back step when Daddy called to give him his food. Everybody get to talk to Mama, even Giovanni. Everybody except me. Daddy started to go to work. He looked even more serious than before. Tanti come by in the afternoons and stay with Mama. The whole time I sit in the same place watching Mama's window, wishing she would come to it and see me. I wanted she to tell me a rhyme or a story like she used to when she brushed my hair. Would she know me if she see me? She used to tell me she would never ever let anything happen to me. The days were so lonely and long. I walk up and down the trees, scaring the cats and the neighbor's goats. Other animals could see me just like Lenny. Our next neighbor, Mr. Max, come to quarrel with Daddy one afternoon about how Daddy didn't cut the grass coming up the trees for a long time. He said the road looked a mess. Daddy didn't even yell back at he like I see before. He just said, okay, and went to cut the grass. The next night, I went to Mr. Max's house and climbed up the pomegranate tree in the yard. He always used to brag about how his tree had the sweetest fruit. I went and I bite each and every pomegranate, so they all spoil and he would have none. Then I chased the two dogs round and round his house until they bark and wake everybody in his house up, and his wife starts screaming, "Call the police!" I run back to the house, to the plum tree, and laugh and laugh. Letty was happy too, and he licked my face. Mommy come to the window and moved the curtains. She looked out, almost like was looking right at me, and then closed the drapes fast. I closed my eyes and dreamed of she singing me to sleep. The next morning, Mama came down the front steps. She didn't look like my mama. She was so thin, and around her eyes was dark, like holes. She clothes was hanging off she was a stick, and she had some grey hair. "Mama, it's me." I wave and whistle. She shake she head and get in she car and drive away fast. When she come back home, she was wearing a red string tie around her wrist. She didn't look at the tree where I was at all. A week later, Uncle Ram come over with Shivani by themselves. "I want to play with Lenny, Daddy," Shivani said to Uncle Ram while he was taking some bags out of the van. "Okay, Shivani, stay in the yard," he said, and went up the steps. "Yes, Daddy." Shivani waited until he was inside and walked straight up to me. "What you doing in Auntie Shalini's yard?" she asked. "And why you dressed like that? Don't you have any proper clothes?" "Shivani, it's me, Samantha," I say, happy she could see me. But this time, my voice wasn't a whistle. It come out exactly like Uncle Ram's voice saying, "Shivani, Shivani, Shivani," over and over. Where was my voice? My whistle? I cover my tiny mouth and back away from she yelling, No, go away." But again it come out as "Shivani, Shivani," and she was following me. I couldn't control my backwards feet. They keep walking towards the cocoa bush, leading Shivani away from the house. My chest went hot and hard. Why Shivani couldn't hear me properly? Shivani could talk to Mama and wear pretty dresses and was cute, and I have to sit outside half naked under a tree when she father, Uncle Ram, did know what he got. I focused and called to Shivani louder, backing up into the edge of cocoa bushes. "Shivani, Shivani, 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 where going, y'all?" Uncle Ram called from the top of the steps. Shivani stopped and stared at me. "Nowhere, Daddy," she said, and ran back to the house. Lucky, I screamed, scaring a Kobo in a nearby tree. Shivani looked back at me, but Uncle Ram didn't when they went inside the house. I sat down under my plum tree and stared at Mama's window, so vexed I was shaking. That evening, Daddy come out the house carrying part of my bed with Uncle Ram. "Where are you taking my bed?" I shout. I ran up to the van and tried to grab Daddy's arm, but he didn't feel me. "Stop! Don't give it away! Don't let Shivani have it!" They went back in and come out with more pieces. I stomped back to my tree and hugged up Lenny. It was dark and the back of the truck was full of my things. Mama come out. She looks so pretty. Not so tired anymore. "I hope you like the bed set," she said. Mama hugged Shivani up tight. I don't know if I had a heart anymore, but if so, it break. That hug was for me. Before she gets in the back seat, Shivani looked back at me. I give she the worst cut eye I could from under this stupid hat. Then Mama turned around and went back inside. "How could you give Shivani my bed?" I asked before I cried all night. Days later, Mama put on the black long-sleeve dress she had on at my funeral and get in the car. The air feel heavy and I get pulled to the car. Before she starts to drive away, I climb up on the trunk and sit down. I wasn't scared of falling off. What could happen to me? I was already dead. The road she take went through the whole town, past the market and the chemist. She was going back to the cemetery. When she reached, she parked the car and sits in it for a long time. I see she through the back window. Her shoulders were shaking. Watching she made me sad. I jumped off the car and went to my grave. It was different now. Grass did grow over the hole. You would never know my body should be under the ground. "Hi," a little voice said. A kid dressed like me, with a hat and grass skirt, but smaller, was standing next to me. "You's Alyssa?" I asked she, touching she shoulder. "How you know my name?" she said, bouncing on one backwards foot. "Your mama helped me get back home. She was looking for you." "Where was the night she come to look for you?" "I doesn't stay here during the night. It's have a scary bad old man zombie with bright red eyes. If he see her, he take off the top of your head and ask you to touch your brain." "For true?" "Then I was lucky your mama bring me back home. I see all kind of weird people here. Is that your mama coming now?" She pointed towards the car park. Mama was walking over to my grave, wringing she hands. When she was in front of it, she sat down and put she hands flat on the grass. She didn't move or say anything. "I want to see my mama too," Alyssa said. You could wait till she come back to see her here, or you could get a ride with me back to town and look for she. She say all you living close by we." Alyssa clapped. "I want to come with all you." Mama look in my direction, but shake she head and look away. "Okay then, go and sit on me car trunk," I tell Alyssa. "This is the first time I get to sit with my mama since I did." Alyssa ran off on she heels towards the car. I sit right next to Mama. She wasn't crying. "Samantha," she say in she nice, soft voice. She's when she wake me up for school. "I hope you know I love you so much. I could never be the same." She stopped like something catching she throat. I know you're not at rest, baby. Me too. But things is going to start to change. She wiped her face. I want to tell you that. So you know that I love you. Then she was quiet a long time. The whole time she talked, it did feel like pieces inside my chest was breaking apart. It wasn't a sharp pain at all. It was a deep ache. Then she blew my grave a kiss and stand up. I followed she back to the car and sit next to Alyssa in the trunk. Alyssa put her arm around me. That was nice because I don't know when was the last time somebody hugged me up. When we reached the village, Alyssa says she have to jump off the trunk by the chemist. How you go find your mama house if you don't know your address? I asked she before she jump off at the main junction. I go to the market and wait for she there. Okay then, bye. I called as the car drive off fast and left little Alyssa behind in the dark. People start to come less to the house. Mama would sit on the gallery steps every day and talk on the phone to Tanti or she cousins. At first, her voice was heavy, and she didn't talk much, but slowly, she started to talk more. She sang better, and that made me happy. One day, on the phone, she laughed, and it made me jump. It was a quick, bubbling thing that shook my chest. I laughed with she, and that made Lenny start to howl and howl. Mama laughed at him howl, and the song filled up the air and filled me up too. Mama's clothes start to get tight. She face get rounder, same as she belly. One day, Uncle Ram dropped Tanti and Shivani by the house. Shivani was holding a balloon in she hand that said baby on it. Then all the aunties and cousins come. The aunties was laughing and talking and dancing to soca while the kids play with Lenny below the house. Lenny, puppy! I called, but he wouldn't come. He was busy jumping with Shivani and David and the other cousins having fun. Lenny! I screamed at him. All the kids looked at me under the tree. Lenny didn't move and Shivani grabbed his collar. No, Lenny, don't go by she. That is a Jumbie. The other little kids screamed when she said Jumbie and ran up the gallery steps. That is a Douen. Look how it dressed and look at its foot. David picked up a stone and pelted it at me. He missed and I laughed so hard all the kids had to cover their ears. Then David threw another rock. This time it hit me right in the center of my chest. It hurt me. Not the same way like when I was alive, but more inside, like a burn. Then the other cousins all started to throw rocks at me, hitting me everywhere, and I had to run in the cocoa bush to hide. What happened to all you? I hear Tanti's voice from my hiding spot. It's about Douen, Tanti, Shivani said. Everybody was quiet. All they come inside the house, Tanti said. I stay in the bush with the bugs and lizard and worms until it reached night and everybody going home. Lenny, puppy, come. He come over and whimper and lick my face. Now you want meant? Before when Shivani was there, didn't want to come by me. My face get hot like a flambeau. I stand up and whistle at Lenny to come. Then I lead Lenny into the bush. We walk and walk in the dark, deep into the forest. I whistle and soon I could hear wild dogs barking so crisp and vexed. Come, puppies, come, I call as I climb up a tree. I look away when Lenny growl and the wild dogs tear him apart. I wasn't so bad that I could watch that. 2 days later, Daddy and Uncle Ram went in the bush to look for Lenny. I could hear them call he all day. Shivani cry when they come back and tell she Lenny was gone. I cry too, because I shouldn't have killed my puppy. Mama had the baby, my brother. Daddy was happy. He smile and laugh when people come to visit. Shivani and David and all had the little cousins came to see the baby. They call him Rajiv. Sometimes Mommy would put Rajiv in the basket and on the gallery and talk and sing to him. I would listen and pretend she was singing to me. But then she would take Rajiv inside and I'd be all alone again with no one. Not even Lenny. Soon, Rajiv was talking all kinds of silly words and trying to walk. When Uncle Ram and Shivani or Tanti come over, they did blow kisses and laugh at every noise he make. He was cute. Maybe he looks like me. But then Shivani started to call Rajiv brother. One day on the gallery, Mama said, "That's right, he is your brother." My chest went red hot and hard again. I wanted to drag Shivani in the bush by she hair, but I couldn't because she never came near the plum tree anymore. I wasn't going to get bigger. Nobody talked to me, and anyone who could see me left me or pelted me with rocks like Shivani or David. Mama never let Rajiv come on the grass. Daddy was busy with work, and now right in front of me, Shivani was calling Rajiv brother. "He's not your brother, you jackass!" I screamed. My voice come out like the crow Lenny made before he died. Everyone looked up at the plum tree, even Rajiv and Mama. Mama scrunched up she face like she was going to cry. "Let me go inside, everybody," she said and pick up Rajiv from the gallery. The next day, a familiar car come up in the yard. It was Alyssa's mother, the auntie who brought me home from the cemetery. Auntie went inside the house. Alyssa slipped out the car and come to sit with me under the tree. I put my arm around she and stay at Mama's window. "How come all here?" I asked she. "You don't know?" Alyssa said, picking up one of the almost yellow plums that had fallen off the tree. "My mother is the village Obia woman." "For true?" "Yeah," she nodded. "And your mother calls she and says have a bad spirit in the plum tree. And asked my mother to get rid of it." "Mama asked she to get rid of me?" I held myself back from screaming. This was worse than when Mama left me at the cemetery. I hugged up Alyssa so tight. I would have crushed she bones if she was alive. She didn't complain. Then Alyssa's mother come down the steps and walked up to us under the tree. In the daylight, I could see she was pretty and had beautiful dark skin. All the air around she smelled like sandalwood again. "Little Douen," she said, "your mother asked me to get rid of the bad spirit by this tree. I don't know all what she could see and hear, but she said if it have anything to do with you, to put a protection spell to keep you from hurting yourself and the other children." She mouth turned down after she told me that. "What you go do, auntie?" I asked she, still hug up Alyssa. "It's me who bring you here, and I won't do anything to hurt you. I'll go walk a spell on you, so you can't come in the yard at all. But I cannot control the bush, and you could have free reign of that." She nodded she head at me. I was quiet for a long time. Watching Mama with Shivani and the baby didn't make me happy, but I didn't want to never see Mama at all. Auntie wasn't giving me a choice. "Okay, Auntie, I go and stay in the bush." Auntie nodded. She bent over and kissed my cheek and almost started to cry. I squeezed Alyssa goodbye and walked backwards into the cocoa bush. I couldn't see the house or Mama's window anymore. I cried so hard, all the animals near me ran away to hide. Auntie splash water around the yard and chant quietly. I hear she gets in she car. I was so hot and vexed, I thought I would set the whole forest on fire. How could Mama do this? How she could forget me? I banged my fist against a tree, but it wasn't Mama's fault. It was Shivani showing off that get me upset on purpose and make Mama scared for herself and Rajiv. I go fix she. I say out loud to the trees in the dark. I wait patient until I hear Uncle Ram's car one day. I could play in the yard, Daddy? Stupid Shivani asks. I stay quiet until I was sure Uncle Ram was inside the house and I could hear Shivani bouncing a ball. My old ball. I whimper like Lenny, as loud as I could from the bush. The bouncing stopped. Then starts again. I remember all the times I helped Daddy feed Lenny. I whined so hard it echoed in my head, and Shivani stopped again. Lenny? Shivani called. I answered she with Lenny's excited yelp yelp. A few minutes later, I had footsteps in the dead leaves at the edge of the bush. I did bark like Lenny when Shivani and me used to throw a ball for he to fetch. Lenny? Shivani called again. Into the jungle, father, backing up over fallen trees and through branches. I whimper like Lenny hurt. I miss him. Poor puppy. It wasn't his fault either, like Mama. It was Shivani. It was always Shivani. She make me howl like Lenny was in pain again and again. Shivani started to run and crash through the trees. Lenny! Lenny! Where are you, puppy? She screamed. She was scared. Good. Ow! She tripped over the rocks and started to cry about bugs and tear her dress. Ruff, ruff. Where are you, Lenny? You can't be far. She stopped moving. Where am I? She asked, crying. I laugh, and she screamed loud because she heard me. Shivani! Uncle Ram called. They'd come from the house to look for she. I copied his voice. Shivani! I yelled. Shivani! She footsteps paced back and forth. She wasn't sure which direction to go. Shivani! I called again, and she moved towards me. I started to back away towards the place where the wild dogs killed Lenny. I wouldn't look away this time. It should have been she instead of my puppy. Samantha! My foot stopped. Samantha! It was Mama's voice. It hooked into me like a psych. Why she was out here? She must be looking for Shivani. She didn't need me anymore. I wanted to back away, but I couldn't. She spoke and my feet went towards her voice. Samantha! She called like when she woke me in the morning for school. Samantha! She said like when she laughed at my jokes. Samantha! She sang like when she put me to bed when I was little. Samantha! She cried like the day she left me at the cemetery. I couldn't stop myself from going to she. I passed Shivani scratch up and bloody, sitting on an old rotten tree. She gets up and follow me back the way I lead she towards the house. When she could see the yard, she run past me out of the bush. Shivani! I hear Uncle Ram say. He was choked up again, crying. Mama's voice stopped. Daddy! Shivani sobbed. I sat down and I wish I'd never come back here because all they want was Shivani and not me anymore. I belong with the dead, not with my living mama. They would call the auntie to do something to me again for sure. I stand up to go back deeper into the bush. Samantha! I hear Mama again close to me. I turn around. She was standing there, in front of me. Tears on her face. The red string from her wrist was gone. And I could see Alyssa's mother, the auntie behind she. That's she, the auntie say. Mama come towards me and put she hand on my neck. She stared at my tiny mouth and new-eye face and smiled with she tears. She voice shook when she talk. I can see her now, Samantha baby. She hugged me up, tight. There he is.
Well done, you've survived another story. What did you think of Douen by Susan Palumbo? If you're a Patreon subscriber, we encourage you to pop over to our Discord channel and tell us. Susan shared this about her heartbreaking tale. This story is set at my grandmother's house in Trinidad. The story itself is written in dialect the way I would have spoken it. It poured out of my head that way, fully completed. Because I'm part of the diaspora, it is really reflective of how my parents spoke to me as a child, and it is the most unfiltered story I've ever written. On a personal note, as a great fan of short fiction, I was immersed in Samantha's story from the beginning. The sheer tragedy of her death, the unfairness of her afterlife, her jealousy and fear of being forgotten and replaced, all of this made her tale both deeply heartbreaking and uncomfortably understandable. We often hear tales of vengeful spirits who attack the ones they love, but it is rare to read a story that so beautifully communicates how human our supernatural creatures truly are. Samantha's transition from confusion to sadness to anger to wrath is impactful because after hearing her story, after following along, we understand how easily we too could transform in this way. This story is not only brilliant in terms of voice and perspective, but Susan Palumbo's use of doubles throughout, 2 mothers, 2 daughters, 2 Douen, was both emotionally impactful and brilliant formally. Finally, I just want to say that I really love the ending. Many horror stories end in tragedy. One might think that Shivani's death was the logical progression and logical result of Samantha's change. But we have Alyssa's mother, the auntie, who sees the child within the Douen throughout. It is the auntie who reunites Samantha with her mother, and with that, she ends a tragic story with hope. Finally, PseudoPod is funded by you, our listeners, and we're now formally a nonprofit. One-time donations are gratefully received and much appreciated, but what really makes a difference is subscribing. A $5 monthly donation on Patreon will go farther than you would believe. Subscribers give us way more than just money. They give us stability, reliability, and dependability. Monthly donations give PseudoPod a well-maintained tower from which to operate, and trust us, you don't want breaches in our walls. If you can, please go to pseudopod.org and sign up by clicking on Feed the Pod. If you have any questions about how to support EA and ways to give, please reach out to us at donations@escapeartist.net. If you can't afford to support us financially and we understand times are tight, then please consider leaving reviews of our episodes or generally talking about them on whatever form of social media seems the least awful this week. By the way, we now have a Blue Sky account. Find us at pseudopod.org. And if you like merch, Escape Artists also has a Void merch store with a huge range of fabulous hoodies, t-shirts, and other goodies. The link is in various places, including our pinned tweet. Please check it out. PseudoPod is part of the Escape Artists Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit, and this episode is distributed under the Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. Download and listen to the episode on any device you like, but don't change it or sell it. Theme music is by permission of Anders Manga. See you soon, folks. Take care. Stay safe.
An arm appeared from nowhere on the shape, seemingly projected like the pseudopod of a protozoan.
It's a pseudopod. It's a big foot.
It's all about podcasts these days.